The United Nations Palestinian Refugee Agency UNRWA, the International Court of Justice, and UN Chief Antonio Guterres are among the favorites for this year's Nobel Peace Prize, experts said, in a year marked by the wars in Gaza and Ukraine. Given past form, the Norwegian Nobel Committee is capable of springing a complete surprise in the October 11th announcement, including not giving the prize at all. With 2024 marked by the now-spreading Israel-Hamas war, a Ukraine conflict in its third year and bloodshed in Sudan displacing more than 10 million, the committee may want to focus on humanitarian actors helping to relieve civilian suffering.
I think that the committee will always be looking at current humanitarian situations and consider whether they should be addressed. It's always difficult to consider parties directly involved in conflict, but perhaps humanitarian actors who are helping to relieve the civilian suffering in war could be good candidates. In the case of Gaza, I think that UNRWA, the UN agency assisting Palestinian refugees, could be one such candidate. They're doing extremely important work for civilian Palestinians that experience the sufferings of the war in Gaza. We could also potentially see a candidate like the International Court of Justice in The Hague be a candidate. They have been ruling both against Russian intervention in Ukraine, but also saying very clearly that Israel needs to take responsibility and making sure that genocide is not committed in Gaza. Prize to UNRWA would be seen by some as a controversial prize. UNRWA was, after the October 7 attacks on Israel, was charged with claims that several of their staff had been involved directly in the attacks, and UNRWA has been investigating those claims and has taken it very seriously. But UNRWA is an organization that is being seen by some as being controversial.
Some countries halted their funding to UNRWA as a result of the allegations. Most donors have since resumed. In August, an internal UN investigation said that 9 staff members may have been involved in the attack and have been fired. UNRWA has said Israel is trying to have the organization disbanded. The agency, set up in 1949 in the aftermath of the war over Israel's creation, provides humanitarian assistance to millions of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon.
This year, I think that we could see election observers winning the Nobel Peace Prize. We know that democratic states are more stable and more peaceful, and this year more than half of the world's population is going to the polls. Not all in democratic states, but the election observers are watching over the integrity of elections and making sure that they are free and fair. And as such, election observation is a very important contribution to peace and stability.
The secretive 5-strong awarding committee, appointed by the Norwegian parliament, may also want to focus on the need to bolster the international world order built after the Second World War and its crowning institution, the United Nations. That could mean a prize to its Secretary-General, Antonio Guterres, with or without its top court, the ICJ, said Asel Sveen, a historian of the Nobel Peace Prize.
The level of impunity in the world is politically indefensible and morally intolerable.
The ICJ has condemned Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine and called on Israel to ensure that no genocide is committed in Gaza in an ongoing case Israel has repeatedly dismissed as baseless. But the committee could also decide that no one gets the prize, something that happened on 19 occasions, the last time in 1972.
So I wonder if maybe this is the year in which the Nobel Peace Prize Committee should simply withhold the prize and focus attention on the fact that this is a warring planet and we are in possibly the most dangerous period of human history that we have ever faced, with numerous serious problems to deal with, which we can't really get on with dealing with until we find more peace. So perhaps it would be a good idea to focus global attention onto that by saying this year, no Peace Prize.
Thousands of people can propose names, including former members of parliaments and university professors of history or law. Nominations are secret for 50 years, but those who nominate can choose to reveal their choices.
That provision prohibits only the forcible transfer of عرفت